Good evening, Fort Thomas community. We're here tonight to give you an update on non-traditional instruction days and to help you get through these and to make them productive for you and your family. Unfortunately, we got the news yesterday that we do have a case in Campbell County. There are now, I believe, 10 cases in northern Kentucky, so we need to continue to do all that we possibly can to stay at home, do things that are healthy for our family, as our governor says, healthy at home, and make sure that we are doing everything we can to support our students for Fort Thomas schools. We have a few things that we would like to remind you of with social and emotional support. Tonight and the next couple of nights will be very focused on that. What our counselors are doing, what our schools are doing, what our staff is doing to make sure that our students are supported. And we are asking your help, please, to help our students feel great. For you personally, as parents and as teachers and community members, we want to help support you. So our governor, Andy Beshear, has given us some guidance. He's also actually put out some videos and those kinds of things as well. But to make sure that we are informed, so I always watch the press conference every night so I can relay that information to you. That may be too much for some people, but just making sure you're informed, but also taking a break from all the onslaught of information. Also making sure you have routines, continuing those routines for your family, getting up at a certain time, having breakfast, doing some outdoors, going outdoors, having a really good diet, exercise. Also making sure that you're not isolated. I don't know about you, but I've had a ton of meetings through Zoom and Teams, and that's really great because we're still connected even though we're not physically connected. And so we want to continue that. Tonight we're going to hear from Jamee Flaherty, who is our Assistant Superintendent for Student Services, who can tell us a whole lot more about what we're trying to do in the Fort Thomas schools in order to help support social emotional learning. She will also be talking about a website that will be added and lots more resources to our website. And here's Jamee.
Hi parents, I'm Jamee Flaherty from Fort Thomas Schools, and I'm here to share an update in regards to social emotional learning as we experience our COVID-19 NTI days. With that, we recognize that we have a wealth of information that we want to share. So at the bottom of our NTI page, which should be our homepage on Fort Thomas Schools website, we are going to be sharing a link to resources for 4 different tabs. The first would be related specifically to social emotional learning and what that looks like. If your students are recognizing they are struggling with anxiety, with depression, if you need some recommendations to then have conversations with your students, there will be a plethora of resources located there. The second tab will be solely related to mindfulness, as we want to make sure that we're being mindful of the activities that we're participating in and that we're not overloading ourselves with opportunities of just focusing on the academics. So we want a well-balanced experience, and those will be located on the mindfulness tab. The third tab will be a tab for those that want to support our community. It is recognized that we have several volunteers that have already communicated the wish to support our community. It's been recommended by the health department and other agencies that we not directly take donations, as the spread needs to be then limited within the items that are contaminated if there were to be an outbreak in our area. And so they are looking to have other agencies have those items quarantined. And actually, one of the best ways at this time would be to give a monetary donation to those if you are wanting to contribute. So we have created a separate link on that site. It'll be a separate page that you can refer to ways that you can help. And then finally, if you need assistance, no matter how small or big, please take a moment to fill out and look at the resources that are there on the last tab on that page. We want you to make sure that you have everything that you need, and we have some resources available. We are utilizing some of the same agencies that we are going to be referring to on the ways that you can contribute An example would be toward the end of last week, we delivered meal boxes to certain families from one of those agencies. So make sure you check those out. In addition, I know that our district psychologist, Dr. Richardson, had shared about a week and a half ago of ways that you can communicate with your students or your children about COVID-19. So we are going to be re-sharing those, and he's going to be providing advice through video recordings, and we're going to have those readily available on that site. Then finally, I want to make sure that you have an opportunity to see what each school would be doing and finding ways to connect with your children throughout the days. So as a follow-up, I will have several videos attached, one from each school, so that you can see examples. Some include using the team app, using the strategies in mindfulness, taking care of yourself, using Instagram to stay connected, and then using the Google survey as a way that our counselors can check in throughout this challenging time that we're experiencing right now. We know that we would love to be in school. We recognize that we're not there, and we want to make sure that this is as manageable as it can be for each family that is at home. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me throughout this experience. I'm able to problem solve and communicate with the parties that would need some assistance and try to make this better for you. So in closing, I hope all are well, and let's take a moment to listen to some of our counselors and district support staff so that you can see what's happening on the outside in other locations as well.
In addition to this, Dr. Patrick Richardson, who is our district psychologist, has quite a bit of information that he'll be sharing over the next couple or 3 nights on how we can support not only our students, but you as parents at this time. Here's Dr. Richardson.
Dealing with the coronavirus has created an increased level of stress in families and children. During these times, it's very common for families to have lower levels of structure and routine than they had at one time prior to the virus. It's very important to maintain high levels of structure and routine in your family during this time. What this does is it increases the probability that things will be more predictable and more controllable for your kids. One thing that I would recommend is that you go out of your way to maintain normal sleep routines. What a normal sleep routine is going to be very, very helpful to your child in a number of ways. First of all, it's going to make life much more predictable for them and much more controllable. The other thing it's going to do is it's going to greatly increase the quality of their sleep. Students and children, like adults, when we're not getting normal sleep, we often become irritable. Our ability to think is decreased, and we have other negative types of interpersonal outcomes as a result of that. If you can maintain a more common or more structured sleep pattern or routine with your child, it'll go a long way to helping your child continue to have good sleep. The other thought is it's very important during this time that students get enough exercise. What I would recommend that you do as a family during this time is take this opportunity to take walks with your children. This will do a number of things. Number one, it'll allow them to get the exercise that they need, but it also is going to give them some extra fresh air, and it's also going to give them some more exposure to sunshine, which we know is very, very helpful for mood and decreasing levels of anxiety. What it will also do is it will allow you to create some normalcy in their life and allow you to interact with them and speak with them about any kind of difficulties that they may be having, or just take some time to decompress as a family. So taking those opportunities to create routines in your kid's life, both in sleep and in exercise, I believe will go a long way to helping your students and helping your kids experience much less anxiety and much less stress.
Again, thank you very much for all the faith that you put in us. We want to support you. We want to lift up our kids and you, and make sure that we come through this a very positive way and that we get all the resources and feedback that you need. We'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow with additional tips for social and emotional support.